On what stage startups need to think of a brand?
I think it's very important that startups thinks about brand at an early stage, because the big problem is that lots of people are thinking, oh, it's only about the product. But actually, it's very hard to develop a very good product today without thinking about for whom are we doing this? What do we know about the people? What do we know about what the pain is and what the joy is? What are our possibilities? So branding starts really before marketing. It has nothing to do really directly with marketing. It indirectly has to do with marketing, but first it has to do with finding out much more about our audience and what we're doing.
What advice can you give to our students?
I think generally, it's first of all, it's very important with branding, and I think it will help them a lot in their process of building up their company and making a lot of decisions along the road. Because building up a company, building up a venture is all about taking decisions, and deciding, should we do this and that, and this feature and that feature, should we go in this market, and etc. So I think it's really a good tool for that. That's my most important advice is start with the branding early, as soon as possible. Find out who are you doing this for, what is the thing that you want to address, what is the difference that you want to do, and I think that's the main thing.
What type of brand do you think would be good for Startup Academy as a product?
You mean, how do you mean? I don't understand really.
What branding should we do for Startup Academy as a product?
Okay, for the Startup Academy. Well, I think you're the fact that you have already a network of people that will go out in the world and talk about you and talk about how good you were. I think that's the biggest thing. I think what you can do, of course, is that you can invite a lot of media, all kinds of media contacts that you have in this startup thing to invite them. You may do some public events, people coming in and maybe competing, with ideas or something. Do something which is more sort of public, maybe, so you get more attention outside. It can also be a good recruitment technique for getting good, interesting new students. And I think that's the most important thing. And I think also maybe some the stories of all these people. When you tell the stories, what they're doing, what they have achieved, what they've done. You need, of course, like all the investors, you need some stars, some star brands that will be coming out of this, and if you have one or two reasonably good stars, that would be the most important thing, way more important than a lot of other things. And then to tell a good story, how did they get there, and what was Skolkovo Startup Academy is doing to help me and to help me to become better. I think this is.
What perception should people have about Startup Academy? What's the brand of Startup Academy?
I think you have a position now, being a part of a management school, of high level. So of course you're sort of education. You should feel that you are getting an education here and to become an entrepreneur, start a venture. This is what is really a lot of missing now. There are people who are getting education somewhere. They do a master year here, but it's kind of separated from the entrepreneurship. But integrating it with the entrepreneurship, so you are learning as you go, and you are like that we did today. You're mixing in this learnings with your actual project. It's much more interesting to learn when you're in a process to do something yourself. If you're coming as a student and sitting and trying to learn, a lot of things will not be applicable to you, because you're not in a process of really using it immediately. Most of these people here today have the advantage that they can use it immediately. So I think this is the new type of education, actually, where your education comes as a part of context. It's a part of a process, and you need it immediately. We are in a culture now where people want immediate results. You want immediate response. You don't want to wait to connect to someone. You don't want to wait to send a picture, or you want an answer directly. You want instant gratification. And I think this is very much what we're doing. Able to give people that can instantly use their stuff. I think this is the big difference from a lot of them. And you're still kind of an academic institution, and certainly have an academic sort of status, and that's a good combination, I think.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now I'm even more